So in terms of auras, I just wanted to explain a little bit about something that's been coming up quite a lot actually, and I hope it goes some way to helping you to understand the energy of your dog, why things happen the way they do, why things show up the way they do, and you know, what is energetically happening. You know, the further and the more I go down the route of canine flow, the more I go on my own journey of understanding what I'm made up of energetically. And in a sense, that's my spiritual journey, and that's what we're all here to find out about, and to understand ourselves as well, so that we can then understand the world and we can be of service and support with the PAW dog owners, or whoever it may be that you want to work with actually, to also find out about themselves, so that collectively we can contribute the highest frequencies back to planet Earth, because that hasn't happened for a long time. So essentially, in a nutshell, it's about you waking up so you can wake others up. That's kind of what it's about. And we need this level of understanding to come through onto planet Earth. We really, really do. So that it isn't just about, yes, I'm compassionate, or yes, I feel love. It's about getting that down into 3D reality. You know, there's an awful lot of people that aren't at that level where they understand yet how to bring that down into 3D reality. So that's what needs to happen. Diane said she's in Queensland, so it must be sunny and warm where you are, I'm presuming. You might even be able to see the sea anyway, I don't know, to let us know. Hi, Jenny. Hello. Jenny's just started the Canine Flow online course today. It's very exciting. It's really cool. Thank you. So I'm sure you're going to love it as well. So the layers of aura are really to help us understand what I was saying about understanding more about ourselves. And there are, when you go online, you can have a Google, and there are so many people that have, in their own way and from their own subjective point of view about what's happening energetically, either for them, for the whole of humanity, or just in general, they have created like diagrams which will give you their point of view about the layers of the aura. You know, they can label them, if you like. They've even gone to the point of labeling them and said, this is the emotional layer, this is the mental layer, this is the physical layer, all that kind of thing. And they've given them all different names. And some of this will be channeled information, and some of it will be where they've tested and learned, if you like. They've kind of had their hands going further away from the body, and then they've in that way seen if they could feel different layers of the aura, which you can feel. When you learn to feel energy in your dog, you'll be able to also feel that in your dog, how far out the aura goes. And what's in the aura as well, and how aware your dog is of all the different things in the aura at different stages. In fact, Jenny, this is funny, Jenny, you're on, because when I was doing the one-to-one with you, this is what was coming up, wasn't it? And I said to you that it was almost like Jojo was like a spy, like James Bond, and he was like so aware, almost hyper aware, that something might be there in the distance, you know, like a spy would be. Totally know like how open my gate was at the back if I was a spy, you know, like I would totally have all this information, and if anyone even happened to look over the fence, I'd know before they even did it. You know, you've all read about it, you've all seen it, that kind of thing, when a dog is like really hyper aware. So I remember us talking about this, so interesting this should come up now. But the thing is, what we have to understand is everything is made of energy, and everything has information. Energy is information. That's what it is. So it could be sound information, of course. It could be color information. It could be shape information created by the sacred geometric shapes that make up our planet. So everything is a frequency, and emotions become a frequency. Everything is a frequency, and it's all information that is we have access to everything. So we have access to all the planetary information. So we might be a certain born under a certain astrological sign, but we do have access to all the others as well. We don't only then have access to those. So we have access to everything in terms of calling it source. We could call it Akashic Records. It's all sorts of names we might want to call it. And we can think of it as above us. We can think of it as around us. I would say we're expanding into it personally, rather than it being above us. But it is quite, it kind of works in a way, doesn't it, to think of it as above us and we go up and get the information, then come back down onto planet Earth with it. Really, we expand into it, really. But essentially, we have access to all information. However, what we focus on becomes the information that makes us up. So as we focus on something, it becomes stronger in our aura and it becomes around us much more. And the more focus we give on it, the more it's going to be there. So in Jojo's case, just to use him as an example again, Jenny, because we were talking about him, it's very much about the anxiety had been focused on, that emotional energy had been focused on, that hyper awareness had been focused on and kept in the aura for so long. So for whatever reason, which of course we went into and you're now learning more about on the course as well. So for whatever it might be for your dog, if there's a focus on something, it will become stronger, and the same with you. And what often happens is we can very much as well think that there are outside forces fixing our lives or creating our lives, writing down on the blackboard, you know, Caroline in 2019 in October will do this video and so will see it and it will impact their life, and it's all, you know, like somebody's creating this and it's fate, or there's an outside influence. But what we really come to take on board, and what the dogs are here to show us as well, is it's all about us. We are the creators of the universe. Y-O universe, okay? We are the creators. We have the influence. We can have the empowerment, and we're creating all the time anyway. We're gonna create anyway. So we may as well have an awareness of what it is we're creating and what it is we're putting out there, and then what it is that we have created subconsciously, which is partly what our dogs come to do for us. One of the massive lessons is that there are reminders and our reflectors for what we're putting out subconsciously that we might not notice otherwise if they weren't there assisting us and supporting us to do that. So one example of this, of why this is related to the layers of the aura and how to bring it, hopefully bring it all back together for you into a circle, is that you, and this is something I was talking about last night, going off on another thread in the abundance mentorship group that I'm running at the moment, is that if you, for instance, hear the name of something, or you see a magazine picture and you think, oh, you know, where's that place? Or what's that make of car? I've never seen that one before. Or I've never heard of that place before. That sounds an interesting place. You put your focus onto that thing. It brings that information into your aura. And on some level, whatever level we label it, it's in there. And the more we focus on it, the stronger it will become. So because we've focused on it and it's piqued our interest and we've felt something about it, we actually had an emotional reaction to it. Even if we weren't aware mentally and consciously we had that, we felt something for it subconsciously. So then we might see this again. We might be walking down the road or in the radio and we hear somebody talking about this very place or this very type of car that we didn't know existed before. Or it could be a dog breed, you know, like somebody's walking one. You know, I mean, we all know this is what happens. And then you might find that you go into the doctor's waiting room, or you go to the dentist's waiting room, or you get your nails done, you flip through a magazine, there it is again. You know, and this is what happens. It keeps repetitively coming to us. And in the framework where we believe there is somebody else creating our reality, we will take the belief then that someone else out there is giving us a sign or a message that we should go to that place, or we should get one of these cars, or we should look out for these cars because our next best mate is going to be driving one, or something like that. So we become even more focused on the car. Then, because we're becoming that much focused on something, it will create itself in our reality. And we will say, wow, I was supposed to do that. That was supposed to happen to me. Otherwise, I would never have met X, Y, and Z person that was driving that car, or I would never have gone on that holiday to this place I'd never heard of before. And, you know, we are creating every step of the way. Now, in the framework that we are the ones that are empowered and creating our reality, I hope you can see how you've then created that, because as it stays in your aura, it will become stronger, and in the end it will reflect outside of you. But it's not because someone else outside of you has decided that you should or shouldn't, in terms of what you should or shouldn't do with your life, be interested in this place. It's not because a spirit guide has put that magazine originally in front of you that you saw the place name or you saw the car. But this is the romantic belief system. That's the one we like. Okay, and that's the one that we're like finding hard to let go of in a way. But this is what we need to do in order to understand just how flipping powerful we are, and how we can push through our challenges, and we can choose a new focus, and we can create the things we want to create in our reality. We can manifest abundance. But if we keep believing that there's a path for us outside of ourselves, okay, that will influence our ability to create. So I think it's wonderful that we can create that we can see a really cool place name and think to ourselves, oh, I really like that, feel something. So backing it up with the feeling, which is really important in manifestation anyway. I think it's really cool that we can do that, and then we can create it, and they become synchronicities. And I tend to say, see them as synchronicities, not as signs. They're synchronicities, and if anything, they're a sign that you are powerful, and that you may not be seeing how powerful you really are, or understanding the reality of how powerful you can be. And then use that power that you then know you have to make changes within the stories of what's happening in your reality. So that could be your dog's behavior, of course. If your dog's, partly what your dog's behaviors will be is a story in your reality, which you can change. So, I said I was going to finish before my housemate came home. She's just arrived, so I won't be long though. So essentially partly that, but also understanding that when your dog has something in its aura, when that's in its aura, you have the ability to assist your dog to be aware of its body again physically, which will then connect it to the layers of its aura, and it will be able to release that, whatever it is that it's stuck in the layers of the aura that the dog is either focusing on, and you can see it focusing on because it's playing out as a behavior, or may not be aware, that has subconsciously in its aura. So you then have the ability to be able to shift that, assist your dog to shift that. Oh, you have water. She has water. This is good. Okay, sorry, a little bit of going to be some Swedish discussed now behind you. Hi, Stacey. Oh my God, I can't believe you're here. It's so awesome. Because you don't normally get to be here, do you? You're normally busy. So that's cool. I'm glad you managed to hop on and see this. And I hope this is making sense to you as well. Stacey's been on a retreat and signed up for the online course as well, didn't you, actually? I think just afterwards. So that's cool. So yes, obviously, because Stacey has horses, so I may as well throw it out there that this is going to be the same with all animals. Any living being has the ability to hold a frequency of information in its layers of its aura, and for those frequencies to manifest because of a focus on them, because they are drawn further in because of the focus on those frequencies, they become stronger. And this is a sign that we are made of energy. And everything is made of energy, and we can shift our dog's behaviors with energy. If we keep seeing the dog as a thinking mental being, we will only ever be on that plane with them. We will never be where the power really is, where all the magic happens, where we can see our dog's behaviors as reflections and messages to us, you know, and they're here to serve us. They're here to serve humanity. They're sticking themselves in front of as many people as possible now, because we're expanding as a race, and we're ready now, and they know, you know. And it's just amazing, you know. You see them there, they are drawn to high vibration indigo children, you know. They love to be around them. They love children generally speaking, unless they've got stuff in their aura that needs to be shifted in some way. They've got this desire to be around high vibration individuals. So 2 new comments, I'll just look at them. Stacey says it's making sense. Jenny says it's making sense. That's cool. Okay. Right, well, thank you for listening. And as I said, I'm going to be I haven't really landed yet on the time for the behaviour hour. I wanted to do it obviously in the evenings, but then it gets later and later for me because I'm so far ahead now with the clocks changing. So we shall see. I might start with it at the weekend and then shift it to the evening when I'm in the UK. So I'm going to go now because my housemate does treatments. She calls them dynamic correction. And that's why this lady's here. So they're going to need me to not be speaking outside her treatment room. So I really appreciate you all watching, and I really appreciate you all being part of the group, the new people as well, if you're watching this. And I hope it's piqued your interest in what canine flow is, completely different to any other way of working with dogs. And I'm extremely pleased and grateful that I can bring it out to you and maybe make a difference for you and your dog. And of course, then for the rest of humanity as well. So thank you for watching, everybody. And yeah, I shall see you all again soon.